Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. We are going to read your tarot cards here today. So please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something or better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate for you, please do push them aside. You may want to revisit them at a later date. Sometimes tarot messages make more sense in the future. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is, of course, optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. All that being said, let's work to get you some, or set the intentions rather, to get you some helpful, insightful messages for the coming weeks or months. All right. My deck upside down. Ooh, interesting. So you have the Six of Wands upside down. We're going to read into that for sure. Typically, the Six of Wands upright is a card of getting a lot of attention. It is frequently a card of celebrations and victories, promotions, feeling seen, being very active maybe on social media, getting recognition, again, attention, nominations, things of that sort, maybe winning something at work. In reverse, I don't know, sometimes it can mean it's delayed or not feeling like you're being seen, not feeling like you're getting the attention that you deserve. I don't know if it comes from a place of feeling bitter or resentful or jealous. Not necessarily. Let's dig deeper into this and kind of see what's coming through, but that there might be some underlying energy there. So, in the middle of the deck, you have the Fool, and I actually really like this depiction of the Fool. I almost feel like, and I don't mean for this to be insulting, so I hope it isn't, but I think it's laced with meaning, is I'm hearing like ignorance is bliss. So sometimes the Fool card can sort of be this energy of acting a little bit out of character, acting a little bit foolish, not considering things maybe the way it, demands your attention. I see you being very daydreamy at work. It almost feels like falling in love. And very quickly coming to conclusions that, gosh, that sounds so negative. Bear with me. I promise I'm going to get you some helpful messages here. But sort of already writing a future with this person that maybe you just met, or jumping to this immediate conclusion that they're the one, and again, madly in love and this and that. Being very, again, dreamy, head in the clouds, hopeless romantic, but also potentially having it distract you from other chores and duties and responsibilities. Your boss may have a talk with you about like work performance or something like that, or that you missed a big error or let something slide. I would challenge you to try not to take it personally and be really self-aware. I also think there's just this energy of falling for someone who, maybe they're witty and charming and this and that, but I'm almost wanting to ask, like, do they really treat you right, though? Like, do they show up when you actually need them, or just when it's convenient? And obviously that's not going to be true for all of you. I promise we'll get you more messages. I hate to start off as like a buzzkill immediately, right? That's not my intention, but I think the messages that are most important are the ones that come through kind of first, right? So potentially with another air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It could be any sign though. It could be Virgo, Capricorn, Aries. I just sort of get like they don't treat you with the respect that you deserve. And maybe that's something that you're going to slowly see over time. Maybe it's something that they don't, I don't think they're doing it consciously, but it's almost like their cards haven't been really revealed yet. So there's a lot of like projection of like all the potential you see in them and what they could be, and building a life together. I'm not saying don't pursue it, because you don't know until you know, but I would say try your best to keep grounded. There's very much like this fairy tale Neptune energy of falling in love, and I caution you to don't put all your eggs in one basket. That would be my advice, because I do feel like there could be a turn of events or a change in events where you start to see this person's true colors, and they may, I'm just sort of getting the idea of a conversation where they lose their filter and they come off as very like verbally abusive or condescending. It's like they sometimes put you down. And I think sometimes you write it off as like, oh, that's just their sense of humor. But like if someone else were to witness it, it would be very like rude or mean, or it kind of feels like bullying. In fact, you may even have a friend or a sibling that's come to speak to you about it because they just think that, I don't know, it's like they're worried that you're with someone who isn't nice to you. And I know this is very bizarre, but for those who are single parents, it could be that your child addresses that, or a child makes some passing remark that actually, I don't think trigger is the right word, but like it really rings true. It's like a child that is extremely perceptive and can cut through all the BS. They say something just kind of, offhandedly, just as they're going through the room, and it really sticks with you. It really kind of grabs your attention, and you're kind of like, oh my gosh, is that really what's going on here? Very interesting, very perceptive child. Could be a Gemini. It doesn't have to be. Also, for those who are teachers or something to do with students, a student may mention that as well. I'm not really sure what the meaning behind that is, but anyway. All right, moving on. And I don't put anything negative onto that relationship. I just think more things are going to be revealed about it. So, enjoy it and appreciate it for what it is. And I'll say, like, while it lasts, there's nothing wrong with enjoying it, again, for that time. But I don't know. I wouldn't put a ring on it. I'm going to be honest. I don't see that working out. There could even be a cancellation of wedding plans. Anyway, let's see. So then we also have a Capricorn coming through, a reunion with a Capricorn who is a sex pot and potentially wants to make it work with you. We'll see. That could also be with a Gemini as well. You may be attending a wedding and you may meet someone there. You may end up having a crush on your boss, which again, that message of careful of not being distracted at work, it's a slippery slope when you end up kind of dating someone who you work with, right? And I'm not going to explain that because, I'm just saying, with caution, maybe. Just be careful. And I would say definitely have set boundaries of work versus playtime. So that way there isn't this weird bleeding over of kind of, what could be deemed as unprofessional behavior. So that way you don't get yourself in trouble, right? I do see you kind of in a very dreamy romantic state, which is absolutely fantastic energy for doing anything artistic or creative. If you're a painter or a writer or a singer or a dancer or someone who does pottery or, fill in the blank, whatever that is, there could actually be a new interest in dance or music. Some of you may be learning a new instrument or taking on a dance class, or it could be an exercise class, but it has a lot of like rhythm and music and kind of bumping, and I don't know. That seems like it would actually be really good for you and you would enjoy that. Just as a side note. Let's see. There might be a Capricorn who proposes marriage. That's possible. Someone who has a lot of sisters. So that's a confirmation for a few of you. I don't know if it's you or possibly your person. I see there being large groups of women in someone's family. Like 4 siblings that are all girls, or 4 aunts, or something like that, where it's like one family had a predominance of women. Maybe it's indicating same-sex couples as well. That could be, but I still stand by the fact that like there's something to do with like many sisters or many girls. There could even be something like triplets as well. I also feel like there's an argument between siblings. There's some baggage, some resentment, some unsettled, unfinished business. I don't know what that is. And I'm not sure it's you, Libra. It could be with you, but more than likely it's with your person or someone you're dating. And I'm not sure why, but that seems to be taking up a lot of either their headspace, like they're mentally consumed trying to figure out how to either make peace with their sibling or the opposite, like plot against them. But it does seem to be impacting you in some way or another. So I'm not really sure what the advice or guidance is there. I said the same thing to Cancer. I wouldn't go into that situation trying to fix things and give people unsolicited advice or guidance. I think you have a natural role in your life to kind of bring things to equilibrium and balance and be a good mediator. But because this, for most of you, this isn't your immediate family, there is kind of this once removed where it might not be your place to get involved. And to be honest, I think that's probably the best strategy in this very specific example. Because you may get sort of dragged into fights and then it becomes like us versus them. It has the potential to be like this big drama that it doesn't need to be. Like I would respect and support your partner, but ultimately like it's their quote unquote battle to fight. So you should leave it as that. There could be an on and off again thing with a Sagittarius who comes back, especially if they were dating a Capricorn or an Aquarius. That may have ended. They may have chosen to pursue something with you. It's possible, too, that may have just been a friendship. If it wasn't like an on and off again romance, it could just be a friend who's kind of been in and out of your life, especially if it's a Sagittarius, right? They've probably moved several different times, so you may have lived in different cities from them, but it's like you've always kept in touch. Yeah, there may be a Sagittarius who approaches you from a more romantic standpoint. And so, if it's fresh and it's new and you're moving out of the friend zone, great. That seems like it could actually be a long-term commitment for you. Others of you, it's more complicated because there is kind of this on again, off again of like, they catch feelings from me, but then they change their mind, or then they withdraw, or then they act cold, and then they go and date someone else. So like, there could be some confusion that you have to work through. And I think part of you need that clarity because you're always going to be looking over your back. You're going to have trust issues with this person. It doesn't have to be a Sagittarius, but it is very likely a Sag, an Aquarius, or a fellow fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag. I'm saying that because of the cards, right? No judgments against any of those signs. There never is. I love all the signs equally, but sometimes some energies present more so in a reading. Yeah, I just sort of get this idea of if you're dealing with someone who's on again, off again romantically, if it's not your first time around the block, something has to change because them just being like, I've changed my ways, I'm committed to you, that's not going to be enough. Even if it is true, in your head, there's always going to be this like flinching or this, what's a good word, like looking over your shoulder, this fear of competition or fear of who they might be talking to. So you would be entering into some partnership already very suspicious of your partner. So I'm not sure what the solution is other than I feel like you're at the point where you can't just take them at their word because their behavior, speaks volumes. So it might be one of those things where before you decide to, call this person your partner for life, you kind of have to be in it for a minute with them and see if there truly is changed behavior, because I just sense that there's a lot of trust issues. It's like they've given you some, and rightfully so, they've given you some reason to question them and their faith and their ability to commit to you. That being said, I'm not saying the story has already been written. It's possible that maybe this person has finally changed their ways, right? Maybe they did have to go off and date some other people to understand what they wanted emotionally. I wish it was the fairy tale ending where they met you and it was love at first sight and they fell in love with you and that was that. I'm seeing a story here that is far more complicated. It's someone who didn't know what they wanted and, maybe confronting those fears of sort of this emotional attachment, the way they dealt with that or coped with that was to run to someone else because it got too real too fast, or it was too uncomfortable for them to process the idea of needing someone so deeply. It made them feel like they weren't in control because their emotions took over. Someone who, for better or worse, was maybe a little bit immature in how they chose to foster those feelings and those relationships and probably not the best communicator. That being said, everyone is constantly growing and changing and developing, new skills as a person, as a spiritual being, right? So, give them the benefit of the doubt, but I would say, don't tell me how you've changed, show me your behavior, or whatever that expression is. What is that like? Don't tell me your plan, show me your results. It's that type of like, let's not celebrate too soon. Let's actually see what this is now. Because maybe it has been a few years, I'm just putting that out there. In terms of work, I do see you getting recognition, but it's delayed. So you may have really contributed a lot and not felt like you got the proper recognition for it. Hang tight, stay in positive flow of energy, right? Don't swing negative or feel pessimistic or bitter or whatever, because it's coming. Well-deserved recognition is definitely coming at work. There could be promotion. For some of you, it's just going to be like recognizing you, which for some of you, that's enough. It's just like you wanted the acknowledgement that, like you busted your ass to make this happen. You did it. You're proud of it. It's your best work. Your boss is busy and distracted with, or supervisor, however this relates, your client is busy and distracted with something else, possibly family matters or dealing with something with a child or immature people. That being said, just because it's delayed doesn't mean they aren't going to recognize you. I think when you do, you are going to very much feel appreciated and seen, but yet it doesn't happen as soon as you would have thought or hoped. But for some of you, I'm almost being told to say it, but like, don't up and leave. Don't up and quit because of that circumstance, because there's like a misunderstanding there of yeah, like, I don't know. I just see some of you like this ultimatum or this abandoned ship. It's like, they're not seeing me. They're not giving me what I want. Like, that's it. I'm leaving. I don't think that's true. I think very it's just in my nature. I'm very rarely a tarot reader who's going to be like, hang in there a little longer. I'm just like, let's change this. I have a very strong placed Uranus, right, which is like shock and breaking apart and like revolution energy, right? But I don't know, in this scenario in particular, it's the recognition, especially in the workplace, guys, the workplace, that is coming. For some of you who are independent entrepreneurs, you need a better marketing campaign. You need more social media presence. You need to change up, I don't know, the aesthetic, the visual design. You need to update the website. That's something it's worth putting the time and money and effort into, because again, you're going to get a lot more attention and clients and communications. A lot more messages will be coming in, but you have to like zhuzh it up. You have to... And the thing is, you're a Libra, right? So generally speaking, Libras know what's up with presentation skills and like, you know, the aesthetics in theory. And if not, you may actually discover you're actually very good at that. You just haven't dipped your toe in the water yet. So when you do, it could be, I'm going to say, like, it could be life-changing, especially for a business endeavor, or even if it's like a side hustle or a hobby. I'm getting the idea of someone writes an article about you, or there's a endorsement or word of mouth from someone you would consider very skilled in that field, or, you know, it could be like a quasi celebrity. And all of a sudden, like, your numbers blow up and clients are reaching out to you and this and that. So particularly focusing on marketing in the coming months could be important. Some of you, if you have a child, particularly a fire sign or a water sign, they may end up dating someone that you're not particularly fond of, especially a young daughter may get engaged to someone that you have reservations about. And again, it's a similar message if you don't like the way they talk to her, or someone who they just come off as kind of like a know-it-all or kind of condescending. And it might be their sense of humor, but that doesn't make it right. I just sense that there's kind of like getting comfortable with someone and needing to understand their personality deeper, to understand, are they really a good person, or are they kind of an asshole, like disguise, what is it, like a sheep disguised in a wolf disguised in sheep's clothing. There's the potential for that to come through either in your own relationship or someone in your family. So just putting it out there. I do see you falling deeply and madly in love with a Virgo. And this sounds like a Cinderella story, but I actually think it's the case. They may end up moving, but I actually think you guys are going to try and make a long distance relationship work. And I actually think it will, because you both are very, very good communicators. They may have to go away for something. And I will say this, it does feel like a good chunk of time. This doesn't feel like a month business trip or whatever. Like, they have to go away for like a good amount of time. It's probably work related or family related. But in terms of the channels of communication being like open and active, I feel like you guys may be the one that kind of breaks the cliche of long distance relationship never works. It could, and obviously it won't be a long distance relationship forever, but I would give that a go with a Virgo. If the vibes are good, and again, you trust this person, there's no red flags. I don't know. I like the Libra and Virgo story going on here. Just putting it out there. All right, Libra, that's what I got for you. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye.